Welcome back, students. I hope everyone had a great spring break and you are ready to continue with our fourth week of online learning. Monday's math assignment is 8-4. It is in the packet that you picked up a couple weeks ago. So just to review, we've been talking about mean, median, mode. We're going to really focus on mean, which is another way to say the average. It's a single number that describes the center of a set of numerical data. And remember how to find the mean. You add all the numbers up in a set and divide by the number of numbers, or the number of data points. Remember, you can use the mean to summarize data. An example, if I wanted to say the average age of a sixth grader, I'd say 11 and a half years old, as opposed to saying every single kid's age. But our average age is 11 and a half. All right, go ahead and pull out your worksheet, 8-4. I just want to point out, remember this is a video. I tend to talk fast, so you can always pause and rewind if needed. If you are struggling, and you should be doing IXL for 30 minutes every day anyways, HH.2 and HH.3 will help you. Today's goal, you're going to use the mean or the average to summarize data and compare two data sets. All right, so we're going to move on. In Mr. Jackson's language art classes, the mean of 9 weekly test scores determines the quarterly grade. You can relate to this because this is exactly how we get your quarterly grades. We take all of your grades up, average them, and that's your grade that determines your report card grade. So we have a student, her name's Latoya. So far we have 8 weekly test scores. All right, it's a 9-week quarter, so we're going to do some math, and we're going to figure out what she needs to get the average she wants. But first, we're going to find the sum. So right now you're going to pause the video and you're going to add all 8 test scores up and get the sum. So go ahead and pause and add those up. All right, hopefully when you added them all up, you got 762. All right, that is the sum of her 8 scores. So if we wanted to find the average of her grades at 8 weeks, we would take 762 and divide by 8, and that would give her her 8-week average. We're not going to do that yet. So what must the sum of her final score, her 9th week score, be if she wants an average to be 95%? All right. So we know after 8 weeks she has 762. So we know it's going to be a little less than probably 100 more than that to get a 95. So X is our variable. That's the test. That's what you would add up, and you're going to divide it by 9 to get a 95 average. So to do that, remember, we're going to do inverse operation. So our operation here is division. What is the opposite of division? That's right, multiplication. So we're going to multiply this by 9 and cross that out, make it 1. We're going to multiply this by 9. All right, so I want you to pause, multiply that by 9, and tell me what X is. Hopefully you got X equals 855. So 855 divided by 9 is going to give her an average score of 95. So she needs to, well, then to find that, we're going to pause it. Sorry for that delay. Anyways, we're going to go on to part C. What is the minimum score Latoya must earn on her final test to have an average test score of 95? So remember, she already has 762 points. She needs 855 after she has taken the 9th test. So we would simply subtract to find out what she needs to score on the 9th test. So she would need 93 points on the 9th test to have an overall mean, an overall average of 95. All right, we're going to keep moving on. So here we have 2 middle schools. We have Ford Middle School, and Ford Middle School has 1 6th grade, 1 7th, and 1 8th for a total of 3 classes. We're comparing these two data points, or these 2 middle schools. Carter Middle School has 2 6th grades, 2 7th grades, and 2 8th grades. So that's a total of 6 classes. Now, using your words, how would you find the average number of students per class at each school? So hopefully you would think to find the average number of kids per class at Ford, you would add 21 plus 19 plus 20. You would get your sum and you would divide by 3. Okay? Now, to find the average of Carter School, you would add 41 plus 36 plus 37 to get your sum of the total students, but your divisor would be 6 because they have 6 classes. So you would put that into words. Now, to calculate the mean of students per class at each school, you're going to write in sentences and explain what the mean represents. So you will be doing this on your own. You'll do just what we said. So you'll tell me the mean of Ford School. Remember, Ford School, there's only 3 classes. Add them up, divide by 3. Carter, there's 6 classes. Add them up, divide by 6, and write your answer here. Let's move on to the remembering side. So the remembering side is a lot of a review of things we've done in the past. I'm going to give you a little bit of help with this just to make sure we're all successful. Valerie, on number 1, Valerie mixes 5 parts liquid fertilizer for every 9 parts of water to make fertilizer for her garden. So we have 5 to 9 ratio, fertilizer to water. Remember to keep your apples and oranges separate. But to get the total, you'll have 14 parts. All right. Now, if we want to find out how much fertilizer she needs to make 20 quarts of solution, 20 would be our total, our whole. We're going to have to actually set up 2 equations, one to find the fertilizer and one to find the water. So remember, fertilizer is 5 parts part to 14 whole. 5 parts to 14 whole. We're going to find 20 quarts. So here's your cross multiplication. Remember, 20, well, I would always reduce. Probably, I'll help you out a little bit here. You can divide their even, divide them both by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 20 divided by 2 is 10. That will help you. 5 times 10 is 50, divided by 7 will give you the fertilizer in quarts. To find water, you need to reduce, multiply. 10 times 9 divided by 7 will give you your water. Percent, what is right here, you're going to set up a part to whole as well. Now, we haven't done a fraction table in a while. A lot of you don't like these and you kind of slack off on them. I would like you to do your best with this so we can get a little bit of fraction practice in. So the first one, you need to create equivalent fractions. I would leave your wholes the same, 3 whole, 3 whole, and then remember you need a common denominator. Your common denominator is 24 for both 6 and 8. To get 6 to 24, your multiplier is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. To get 8 to turn to 24, your multiplier is 3. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. 3 times 3 is 9. So here is your equivalent fractions. Now you need to tell me greater than or less than. Remember, just a couple hints, when you're adding equivalent fractions, you need like denominators. The same when you're subtracting. When you are multiplying and dividing, do not use this. Use this. It'll make it much simpler, but remember to change to an improper fraction when you multiply and divide. So you take your denominator, multiply it times your whole number, add it to your numerator, all over 6. Denominator times whole number plus numerator, all over 8. Moving on, you're going to find the mean for each of the data sets. Remember, add up all your numbers, equals 32, divide by the number of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 32 divided by 8 is 4. The next 3 are yours. Here we have a histogram. Remember, histograms when you have many, many data points and you want to divide them into equal bins. So here we have attendance at a library. Here we have 0 to 4-year-olds. Here 20 to 24-year-olds. And this is their age and this is the number of people. So in the bin 0 to 4, we've had 8 people, 8 kids went to the library on that day. All right. Now let's go back to number 13. In the age group 0 to 4, they have 2/3 as many people as which other group? Now to help you out with that, Remember, 2/3 is not a whole number. 2/3 is less than 1, right? So we know the 0 to 4 is the smaller number here. We need our answer to be a larger number. And I know when I'm multiplying fractions, if I were to multiply 8 times 2/3, my answer would be less than 8. I need it to be greater than 8. So I know I'm not multiplying, I am dividing. To make 8 a fraction, I simply put it over 1, divide it by 2/3. Remember, we technically aren't dividing fractions, we're multiplying by the reciprocal. You keep your first set the same, 8 over 1, change to inverse operation, so you're changing division, multiplication, and then the reciprocal, you flip your fraction over, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, reduce. So which group has blank amount of people? I don't want to know this answer, I want to know which group it is. So technically your answer is the age range. All right, now stretch your thinking. What is the average number of people in each age range? So how many people in each range? So you're going to find your total number of people. You're going to find out how many bins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your divisor. That's going to give you your average. All right, thank you for listening to this lesson. At the end, when you've completed, you're going to upload pictures of your completed work today. But I would like it today, but absolutely no later than Wednesday by 10 a.m. because we will be doing a Zoom correction. I'm sorry, this should be Thursday because we will be Zoom correcting on Thursday morning. Now, a new feature, we have a code word. The code word is karate. So, all of you, when you have a question for Mr. Wilson or myself, you may not just get under the assignment 8-4 and type your question. You must go into the actual assignment itself, and there's a private comment area, and you must take code word karate and ask us your question. Why are we doing this? Oh, it's a great question because a lot of you are not watching the videos. You need to watch the videos before asking us questions. Do not share the code word with your friends. All right, have fun. Talk to you later.